Well, as you see, I've got the tank drained. About halfway, a little over. But we're going to be adding something new to this tank today. And we're going to be getting rid of something in this tank today. I don't know if you can see it, but this moss right here, this really, really crappy moss right here, this moss that is terrible, we're getting rid of it. It just looks like absolute crap. And we're going to be getting a different kind of moss. A moss that my sister has in her tank. So let's go have a look at it. So this is the moss in my sister's tank, labeled as creeping feather moss. And even this clump here that detached and fell to the bottom is greener than the moss in my 40-gallon. And this is actually the clump I'll be using in my tank. Exciting, right, Butch? So here's the moss that I'll be using in this tank. It was labeled as creeping feather moss. But I don't know my mosses. It grows kind of like spike moss from what I've seen. But like I said, I don't know my mosses. So we're going to be sticking it on the wood that's down here. And hopefully it'll turn out looking better than the other crappy moss that's on here. So, yeah, let's do it. So, I've got my python filling up the tank, and I have stuck the moss onto the wood. Got my little helper here. He likes to chase the bubbles. But here's the moss. Got some there, up here, and on this back stick here too. I thought it looked a little naked in this spot because it was just kind of the anubias there and the rock and the stick. It didn't look very green there, so I decided to kind of fill it in a bit with the moss. I'll just have to be careful with this part here to make sure it doesn't shade out the crypts too much, but I think it's far enough back that it should be okay. I didn't have enough moss to put any on this piece of wood though, but that's okay because I don't know, I just like how it looks and its color and that, so I didn't really want to cover it up too much. But yeah, I think it's looking better now with the moss, without the crappy moss in there. So hopefully we'll get some nice spiky green moss in here. And now to wait for it to fill up. So here's the moss about 2 or 3 days after putting it on the sticks, and it's already perked up a bit and gotten quite a bit greener. It did have a couple days of having like a hissy fit, but it's starting to look better. It's starting to perk up now, and I'm hoping that in maybe another week or so it'll be looking just as great as the stuff in my sister's tank. So fingers crossed. Well, that's it for this video, guys. If you like this video or want to see more like it, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe as well. Until next time, guys. Toodles.